Murli notes, 31st October 2022. What is the meaning of Maya creates obstacles in yoga but not in Gyan, the knowledge? In order to have yoga, you must be able to switch between ordinary consciousness and that level of soul consciousness by which you can connect with Shiv Baba. Not very many can do this. It requires a lot of residual spiritual power. This means that if you are tired, stressed, or emotional, you will not be able to have yoga. This degree of independence from physical circumstances is not needed for Gyan. Many people think erroneously that if you are tired, stressed, or emotional, then a bit of meditation will sort you out. This is untrue. Anyone who believes this or promotes this is misled and misleading. Pay attention. Yoga requires a lot of energy. You need practice and energy to neutralize the gravitational pull of matter and Maya. You need energy to get energy. Yoga is often compared to an income by Baba, as in you need money to make money. To get you going, there is the daily Murli. If you have recognized Baba and you understand the knowledge properly, when you listen to the Murli, it activates your soul consciousness, provided you give it your undivided attention. This also presumes that the person reading the Murli is actually in soul consciousness and in remembrance. If you are reading the Murli text, then you must also give some time to establish yourself in soul consciousness and be concentrated so that you can give it your undivided attention. Otherwise, the import of the Murli will neither penetrate your intellect nor touch your mind and heart. The Murli comes from the mind of God and the churnings of Brahma Baba. Brahma Baba's statements contextualize the experience of a Raj Yoga student who studies and practices this in the circumstances of the Hindu patriarchal society. By extrapolation, you can interpret his statements according to your own social situation. Yoga is extremely subtle. A student of yoga must have made a firm decision to get free and stay free from the influences of those around. That includes your culture, social pressures, and expectations. You have many threads of karma that connect you to your social environment. These can be tugged by those around you easily. They can also be activated by your social conditioning and life experience, which makes thoughts arise that break your yoga in a microsecond. Those thoughts instantly force you into the gravitational power of Maya and matter. Once that has happened, you cannot easily re-establish yourself in yoga. You have to go back to square one, start the process again, and patiently reset your connection with Shiv Baba. If your link is broken and repaired many times, the connection remains weak and difficult to set. Many people think that Sahej Raja Yoga means easy Raj Yoga. They think easy means so simple that any dodo can do it, and it requires no particular effort. Some, who find it difficult, tend to penalize themselves, fall into guilty feelings, self-doubt, feeling inadequate and incompetent. They give away their power to anyone they consider an authority of yoga, and in this way put themselves into a very unpleasant state. This is totally unnecessary and due to faulty logic and faulty interpretation of the knowledge. Baba compares Sahej Raja Yoga to the Hatha Yoga of the sannyasis. He further qualifies the practice and study as a comparison of a Nirvritti Marg and Pravritti Marg. Nirvritti Marg means to isolate yourself from society. Hatha Yoga sannyasis do this because they blame their difficulties on attraction to women, greed for money, and other vices that they consider part of normal social life. Western culture would call this the human condition. Sannyasis also have the doctrine that karma means to work for your living, to sustain a household, and participate in worldly society. Therefore, their solution is to isolate themselves and engage in various Hatha Yoga practices for the purpose of dominating their sense organs and trying to become independent of any form of thought. They think this leads to nirvana. Baba says this is faulty logic, incorrect understanding of the philosophy of karma, and it leads to further karmic bondages. There is therefore no chance of achieving nirvana using these methods. Sahej Raja Yoga is quite different. Indeed, Sahej means easy, but easy when you know how, easy when you are stable in that level of soul consciousness. Otherwise, Baba often says, it's not so easy. Sahej also means in the context of society. That means surrounded 24/7 by the pressures of society, prevailing social attitudes, conventional morality, the patriarchy, and many social biases that are strongly antagonistic to the way of Raj Yoga. The main problem is that the surrounding society knows that your support systems of vegetarian diet, celibacy, teetotalism, disciplined life, taking support from God and not depending on others, seeking solitude in the midst of the crowds are very good and right, but they cannot manage it. Your efforts to live this way makes them look bad, and they hate that. Therefore, they will do whatever possible to discourage, ridicule, and oppose you. This makes them feel better. In general, they do not like being unable to control and diminish you at will. You also have to deal with your inner world, which is no less powerful in opposing your spiritual efforts. Sahej Raja Yoga means, in the context of your karmic accounts of many births. The inner world is fraught with traps, illusions, delusions, faulty logic, guilty feelings, self-doubt, delusions of grandeur, arrogance, psychological traumas, hidden vices, addiction, the ever-present possibility of a descent into madness, and so many things. Most people in this world grew up in extremely or slightly dysfunctional families. Many are survivors of childhood traumas from their families, their educational establishments, their religious authority figures. So what is easy about that? It is said that the study and practice of Raj Yoga requires a long time, much patience, endurance, accumulation of life experience, lifelong cultivation of virtues and spiritual powers, progressive deepening of the study, and being prepared for the long haul. We do not get told this because it might put us off. On the other hand, it might make us more conscious of what this really is. Of course, Raj Yoga can be practiced at any level, but the reality is you start at a simple level, and as you go further, you reach higher and more subtle levels of study and practice. You take as much time as you need and want as you journey from one level to the next. Om Shanti.